And welcome back to Politics Unplugged. We talked about Proposition CC in that last segment. If approved on Tuesday, Prop CC would change the way Colorado's Taxpayer Bill of Rights works. It's better known as TABOR. The Taxpayer Bill of Rights says Colorado's government can't raise your taxes without asking voters first. It also says if the state collects too much money, the excess has to be refunded to all of us taxpayers. Lawmakers say that law is simply too limiting, and it keeps them from using the money on important things like education and the state's highways. Now, joining us on Politics Unplugged to discuss this, Van Schoales. He's the president of A+ Colorado. Van is closely watching what's been happening with Prop CC and area school board elections. Van, thanks for joining us first off. And it's an important time for Colorado because schools are really needing help, and generally, we saw in the last elections, Colorado taxpayers don't want to reach into their pocket and pay a whole lot more.
That's right. Interestingly, taxpayers locally are willing to pay, often in school districts, as they did in the last election.
We saw in Douglas County.
Absolutely. Yeah. But statewide, it hasn't happened in a long time. So I think this will be a really important election, not just because of the money that might come to schools, which is about $80 million or thereabouts if passed, about $80 a kid.
Help us understand the perspective. $80 a kid, what does that mean? I put three kids through school here in Colorado, and I watched early on, there wasn't a whole lot of requests for parents to reach into their pocket and provide more. By the time my youngest graduated, a lot of money going to the school for different things like supplies. Help people at home understand what this could mean on those issues.
Right. So depending on the school district, we're spending different types of amounts of money per kid. The range is somewhere between $7,500, $8,000 up to $12,000 a kid. And Colorado currently is about $2,400 less on average per student per year compared to other states. So we're very low compared to other states, and that puts a strain on schools in terms of teacher salaries and supplies and all the rest of it.
So, Van, I think everybody, if we were asked, hey, more money for schools is a good thing. Smarter kids, better education. But one of the knocks on CC is there is nothing that guarantees that this money will be spent in these locations. Tackle that concern.
Sure. It's not. This won't be targeted money. So there is a lot of evidence to suggest that there is a relationship between spending on education and achievement. So we have some research that says that there is a relationship there, but we also know that there are many school districts that spend a lot of money on education that don't get results. So I think that both sides have legitimate arguments, those saying that we need more money, and money will result in better educational outcomes. And I think that some of the critics are also right in that if that money isn't targeted well, it may not result in improved outcomes for kids.
And switching issues right now, it's about school choice. And that's one of the issues that is front and center. Retaining the ability to choose their child's school is huge for so many families. How has that practice grown?
Yeah, so we've seen over the last 25 years that school choice has really grown. Colorado is one of the few states in which you can choose to go to a school anywhere in the state as long as there's space in that school. And we've also seen the growth of charter schools. We've also seen the growth of what are called innovation schools, which are somewhere between district managed and charter schools. And we've seen that folks, low-income families and families that don't speak English, their use of school choice has grown dramatically over the years, particularly in districts like Denver.
Van, what does this mean for neighborhood schools, and with that flux that, you come here, you go there? I think some might argue it forces schools to perform and make parents want to go there. The other concern is if everybody leaves a certain neighborhood school, that has a major impact.
Right. There are definitely good arguments on either side of that particular issue. It's also, though, true that those families with resources have always had school choice. So I was able to go to a great public school because my family was able to choose a house in a school district next to a school that was very good. And so So wealth has a huge impact on one's ability to choose a school, and sometimes that's forgotten in the debate. And so more recently, the playing field has been even, though it's still not completely equal.
Dan Schoales, thank you for joining us. Important issues on education. And as we wrap up today, if you have a question or a segment idea for us, tweet us at Denver 7 Politics, or don't forget you can watch today's segment anytime at thedenverchannel.com/politics unplugged. Well, thanking you right now for joining us, spending part of your Sunday and part of your weekend with us, and we'll be back next Sunday. I'm Tony Kovaleski saying, have a great week.